All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Annie Walker. I am the Director of Stakeholder Services for NDOT's Seymour District. Before we get started, really quickly, I do want to say if you've not had an opportunity to do so, we do have a sign-in table located just outside the door. We ask that you take some time to sign in this afternoon. We have some welcome packets that have some information about the project located there at the table. You are welcome to grab one of those, take it with you. You can review the project and any information that's in there. Now, to give you an idea of what to expect, and before I go over and introduce the project team tonight, we are here to discuss the Taylorsville rest area, parking reconstruction, and then also the noise barrier installation project. Now, to give you an idea of what to expect, we do have a brief presentation that we're going to show this afternoon. At the conclusion of that presentation, we will have our project team outside the doors. We have some displays out there. You are welcome to look those over and ask any questions that you might have of the project team while you are here this afternoon. Now, if you would like to make a formal comment tonight, you are welcome to do that written. We have the packets that were given out. There is a comment form within that packet. You can fill that out. You can submit it to a member of the project team located tonight, or you can submit that to an individual that is listed as the contact on that form, as long as they are turned in by July 29th, which is 2 weeks from today. For those that are joining us live stream this afternoon, you can provide a comment in the comment box that will also be evaluated by the project team, or you're welcome to access those comment forms, anybody that's not present this afternoon, on the Seymour NDOT webpage. And we'll provide the link to that webpage in the presentation, and I believe it is also located in the packets that you have tonight. So with that, I want to introduce the project team. If you wouldn't mind just standing up and give a little wave as I call your names. But first off, with NDOT, other than myself today, I would like to introduce Sydney Neerman, who is our Media Relations Director, and then also Steve McAvoy, who is our Statewide Facilities Director. And then with Jansen and Spence Engineering, our project engineer, NTS Dalal. And then also with us from Metric Environmental, who is the project manager, Josh Netherton. All right, and with that, we will start our presentation.
On behalf of Indiana Department of Transportation, NDOT, I would like to welcome you all to this public information meeting for I-65 Taylorsville Northbound and Southbound rest area updates and noise barrier. The purpose of this meeting is to provide an update for the proposed plan improvements to I-65 northbound and southbound rest areas, including noise barrier installation. As part of the public involvement process, this public information meeting is held in order to inform the public and local stakeholders of the project's development and to receive feedback. Project plans and displays are available at the public meeting and can also be reviewed on the NDOT Seymour District website found at www.seymour.ndot.in.gov. Feedback will be received from the attendees on comment cards or by email. There will be no opportunity for oral comments at this time. The following items will be discussed as part of this meeting: purpose and need overview, proposed project improvements, environmental process, anticipated project schedule. At this time, I would like to introduce the project team in attendance at this meeting. From NDOT, Steve McAvoy, Statewide Facilities Director, Ed Walker, Director of Stakeholder Services, NDOT Seymour District, Sydney Neerman, Public Relations Director, NDOT Seymour District, Matt Levine, Logistics Director, NDOT Seymour District, Todd Carroll, Operations Support Director, NDOT Seymour District. From Project Design Consultants, Josh Netherton with Metric Environmental Services, and myself, MTS Dalal, Jansen and Spence Engineering. A news release was published by NDOT for this meeting. A legal notice was published twice advertising this meeting in the Republic newspaper. A public information notice was mailed to known property owners adjacent to the project area. An announcement of this meeting was posted on NDOT's website as well as NDOT's social media pages. A copy of the presentation and project documentation is available online via NDOT's website. At this time, I would like to pass the presentation off to Josh with Metric Environmental to discuss the project development aspects.
Thanks, MTS. This slide outlines the 5 main phases of project development from an environmental and design standpoint. The first stage is project selection and early coordination, which includes identifying the transportation need and selecting a potential project. Early coordination with stakeholders and resource agencies begins here to set the stage for environmental review. In the second stage, the environmental phase begins. Here, we define the purpose and need for the project and begin developing alternatives to evaluate. This phase includes initial environmental data collection and consideration of environmental constraints. The third stage is the preliminary design phase. During this stage, we prepare and release the draft environmental document for public review and comment to solicit feedback and ensure community involvement. The fourth stage involves additional work to finalize the environmental document and project design. After receiving input, the project team finalizes the environmental document and design plans, and the project decision is made. The fifth and final stage is project letting and construction. The project is advertised for contractor bidding and construction can begin. Environmental commitments are carried through to construction to ensure compliance. The purpose and need of a project is the identification of an existing or potential issue within our transportation infrastructure and the proposed action or plans the proposed project is expected to address. The need for the project is the existing truck parking lots, which are undersized for current and predicted future capacity demands. Lack of adequate parking availability has resulted in unauthorized truck parking along the entire lengths of the entrance and exit ramps at the northbound and southbound rest areas. The purpose of this project is to reduce the truck parking congestion at the rest areas by creating sufficient parking capacity and by providing improved buildings and modernized facilities to support the current and predicted traffic volume. The photo on this slide shows the current Taylorsville rest areas. The no-build alternative. This alternative allows the existing facilities to remain in place with no improvements and no financial cost or environmental impacts. This alternative does not meet the purpose and need of the project because it does not address the undersized truck parking capacity. Therefore, this alternative has been dismissed from further consideration. Based on NDOT's rest area and truck parking plan, no other alternatives other than the no-build and preferred alternatives were considered. NDOT currently operates 26 rest areas and welcome center properties across the state. The goal of these facilities is to serve the traveling public by providing opportunities for travel breaks on the interstate system. With safety as a primary consideration, NDOT's rest area and truck parking plan establishes layout guidelines as well as recommendations for the future of the NDOT rest area and welcome center portfolio. This investment will provide the opportunity to increase the total number of NDOT's truck parking spaces by 1,161. This will be achieved through the complete property reconstruction of 9 new welcome centers, the addition of 2 new rest areas on I-69 in southern Indiana, 10 rest area transitions to truck parking only facilities, and 4 complete rest area property closures. Now, I'll pass the presentation off to Imtiaz with JSE to discuss the project location.
Thanks, Josh. This slide shows the existing I-65 northbound rest area location with respect to adjacent residential areas, County Road North 200 West, as well as US 31. The existing rest area is located on I-65 northbound approximately 3 miles south of the I-65 and US 31 interchange in Bartholomew County. The existing I-65 northbound rest area consists of 45 car parking spaces, including 2 handicap spaces, as well as 39 truck parking spaces, and also consists of a small rest area building with restrooms, a separate vending building, as well as a separate maintenance building. As part of the proposed improvements, the existing rest area will be converted into a truck parking only facility and will provide 82 truck parking spaces. It will also have a combined restroom and vending building, as well as a separate maintenance building. Existing water, sewer, and electric utilities will continue to provide the same services. Noise barriers will also be constructed along the east right-of-way line of the rest area from the beginning of the truck parking area encompassing the entire truck parking area, as well as along the I-65 northbound entrance ramp up to the last residential area. In addition to this rest area, there's private sector travel break opportunities on I-65 at US 31, mile marker 73, located approximately 4 miles north of the I-65 northbound Taylorsville rest area. This slide shows the existing I-65 southbound rest area location with respect to adjacent residential areas, County Road North 250 West, as well as West 500 North. The existing rest area is located on I-65 southbound, approximately 2 miles south of the I-65 and US 31 interchange in Bartholomew County. The existing I-65 southbound rest area consists of 68 car parking spaces, including 2 handicap spaces, as well as 45 truck parking spaces, and also consists of a smaller rest area building with restrooms, a separate vending building, as well as a separate maintenance building. As part of the proposed improvements, the existing rest area will be converted into a truck parking only facility and will provide 75 truck parking spaces. It will also have a combined restroom and vending building, as well as a separate maintenance building. Existing water, sewer, and electric utilities will continue to provide the same services. No noise barriers are planned for this site. In addition to this rest area, there are private sector travel break opportunities on I-65, mile marker 68, located approximately 6 miles south of the I-65 southbound Taylorsville rest area. Now, I'll pass the presentation off to Jas to discuss the project environmental aspects.
Thank you, MTS. Now, we will go over the environmental impacts resulting from the project. 5 wetlands are located on the northbound side. 3 wetlands will be impacted by grading, and 2 wetlands are not considered regulated wetlands. The wetland impacted by grading will require a permit from the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. Avoidance and minimization measures considered include avoiding impacts to Wetland A, Wetland B, and Wetland C, and minimizing the size of the project area to the furthest extent possible. A total of approximately 7.1 acres of terrestrial habitat impacts will occur at the northbound and southbound rest areas, including just under 4.2 acres of tree removal due to demolition of existing rest area facilities, construction of new rest area facilities, and grading. Avoidance and minimization measures considered include minimizing the size of the project area, minimizing vegetation clearing to the furthest extent possible, and seeding disturbed areas after construction. This photo shows terrestrial habitat that will be disturbed at the northbound rest area. 1 stream and 1 wetland are present at the southbound rest area. An unnamed tributary to Driftwood River flows northwest through the southbound rest area, along the end of the parking lot and exit ramp. Approximately 156 linear feet of permanent impacts to this stream are anticipated as a result of grading. Wetland A is located at the south end of the southbound rest area. It was determined that Wetland A is not a regulated wetland, and this wetland is labeled on the plans as Do Not Disturb, since it lies outside the construction limits and is not expected to be disturbed. This photo shows the terrestrial habitat that will be disturbed during the construction at the southbound rest area. The following is a presentation of NDOT's noise barrier policy prepared by HNTB. Thank you, HNTB, for allowing the use of your video.
As the crossroads of America, Indiana is working to improve its roads. With new infrastructure comes the potential for more noise. Certain types of projects, such as adding travel lanes, require a noise analysis. In compliance with Federal Highway Administration guidelines, INDOT has a noise policy to ensure decisions about noise barriers are consistent across the state. Here's how it works. Step 1. The traffic noise model. We use a model to determine the existing noise levels and predict how the noise will grow in 20 years. The existing model is validated through in-field measurements. The model considers many factors, including traffic volume, traffic speed, number of large trucks, the ground type, adjacent buildings, and location of noise receptors. A noise receptor is a specific location representing a noise-sensitive area. Noise receptors can include places like residential backyards or apartment balconies. After the model is done, we move on to step 2, identify noise impacts. There are 2 ways for a project to be considered for noise barriers. Predicted noise levels are 15 decibels higher than what they are currently, or noise levels are predicted to be greater than specific levels called noise abatement criteria. For noise at residential properties, this specific level is 66 decibels. But what does that mean? A normal conversation between 2 people 3 feet away is usually measured around 60 decibels. At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the track can be 100 decibels or louder. Not all changes in sound are perceptible by people. A change in sound of plus or minus 3 decibels is barely perceptible. Plus or minus 5 decibels is clearly perceptible. And plus or minus 10 decibels will be perceived as twice or half as loud, respectively. Once the noise impacts are identified, INDOT will consider noise barriers near those impact locations. Noise barriers can help block the increased noise from the interstate, but they aren't effective everywhere. They work by blocking some of the sound from the interstate. They need to be tall enough and long enough to block the line of sight between the interstate and residences. The noise barriers will only block between 5 to 10 decibels of sound, so some noise will still be heard. So, if the noise model shows there will be noise impacts, there are 2 other things INDOT must consider before putting in a noise barrier. Per their policy, INDOT needs to make sure the barriers are feasible and reasonable. To be feasible, a noise barrier must be able to be constructed at a given location and be able to block noise. To be reasonable, a noise barrier must be under the maximum square footage per benefited receptor and reduce noise for people directly adjacent to it. If those boxes are checked for a noise barrier, INDOT then sends surveys to adjacent property owners and residents to get their input on whether they want it constructed. Only property owners and residents who would be benefited by the barrier are sent a survey, which includes those that would receive 5 decibels or more of noise reduction from the barrier. INDOT builds noise barriers to improve the lives of those living near the road, but adjacent property owners can still provide input to determine if they will be constructed. If the noise barriers are feasible, reasonable, and desired by adjacent property owners, then INDOT will build them as part of the project. It's all a part of their mission to build infrastructure that enhances quality of life for Hoosiers.
The Federal Highway Administration, as well as INDOT's noise policy, requires that the construction of noise barriers occur as part of added capacity roadway projects on areas surrounding the roadway. A change in pavement or increase in traffic over the years does not in itself initiate or warrant a new noise analysis. However, in the event an added capacity project gets programmed, such as this project, a formal noise evaluation is performed. When a capacity project is planned, INDOT evaluates the need to add noise barrier walls. To meet feasibility, there must be a significant reduction in sound of 5 decibels or more to a significant amount of receptors, such as homes, hotels, apartments, businesses, etc. Metric has completed the noise study for the Taylorsville rest area truck parking expansion. It was found that 16 residential receptors were modeled to be impacted following construction at the Northbound rest area. These receptors had a predicted noise range of 66.4 decibels to 72.3 decibels. Various barrier configurations were modeled to attempt to achieve a noise reduction of 5 decibels and 7 decibels. The proposed construction involves an elevation change of the truck parking to be level with I-65. Barriers were modeled along the northern and eastern edge of the pavement and shoulder of the new parking alignment and I-65 respectively, as well as along INDOT's right-of-way. In total, 2 barrier locations were analyzed given the location and layout of the site in relation to the receptors. The optimized barrier at the right-of-way provided a 7 decibel reduction in greater than 50% of the first row receptors, with a barrier length of under 2,500 feet and an average height of just over 21 feet. Therefore, an optimized barrier located at the right-of-way line is the preferred noise barrier location, as this meets INDOT's square footage requirements and achieves a 7 decibel reduction for the majority of first row receptors. The southbound model indicates that no receptors were impacted by a noise level increase of greater than 15 decibels beyond the existing conditions. The model indicates that none of the 13 receptors were impacted by approaching or reaching their noise abatement criteria sound levels in the existing models. The average noise increase across all sensitive noise receptors at the southbound rest area is approximately 0.6 decibel from the existing 2024 conditions to the proposed 2044 conditions. Therefore, a noise barrier is not required at the southbound rest area. As seen in the noise policy video, noise barriers commonly use concrete panels between steel supports and are designed to reduce traffic noise by blocking sound waves either by absorbing, reflecting, or forcing them to take a longer path to receivers. This photo shows typical noise barriers installed. Your feedback matters. On October 19, 2024, a noise barrier survey packet was mailed to the 57 benefited property owners and/or occupants determined by the noise analysis. The survey packet included a letter summarizing the noise analysis, benefited receptor addresses, a map showing the noise receptor locations in the planned general placement of the proposed noise barrier, the legal notice, and a prepaid survey response postcard for indicating if recipients are in favor or opposed to the proposed noise barrier being installed. The non-benefited receptors received the legal notice only. The screen shows the letter and the legal notice. This slide shows the postcard that was mailed to the 57 benefited property owners. Metric received 28 of the 57 survey response postcards, all indicating that they are both property owners and are in favor of the noise barrier being installed. Based on the 2022 NDOT traffic noise analysis procedure, if the total respondents to the survey do not total a majority of more than 50% of benefited receptors and affected property owners, then a second survey will be mailed out to solicit the views of those who did not respond. Therefore, on December 13, 2024, Metric sent a second survey packet to the 29 benefited property owners and occupants who had not first responded. In the second survey, Metric received 6 of the 29 survey response postcards, all indicating that they are property owners. 4 property owners are in favor of the noise barrier being constructed. 1 property owner is in favor of the noise barrier to be constructed only if there is minimal construction noise and no additional disturbance. And 1 property owner does not want the noise barrier to be constructed. Based on the 2 survey packet mailings, Metric received 34 of the 57 survey response postcards, which satisfies the requirements of the 2022 NDOT traffic noise analysis procedure. No requests for a public hearing were received. However, based on coordination with NDOT and the Federal Highway Administration, it was determined a public information meeting be held to discuss the noise barrier. Now, I'll pass this back to Imtiaz to discuss the project schedule and public comment options.
Thanks, Josh. After review and consideration of comments from this meeting, the project is anticipated to be bid in July 2025 as one project combining both locations. Construction is anticipated to begin in fall 2025 and be completed by fall 2027. Both rest areas will be closed during construction at the same time. Advanced rest area closed signage will be posted along I-65 northbound and southbound ahead of rest area closures. Closure notices will also be provided by NDOT via news release and social media. Public comment options. Please submit written comments this evening or mail them by 2 weeks from this meeting. Comment sheets can be found on the NDOT Seymour District website and mailed to the contact listed on the form. You can also email or mail your comments to project team members. Contact information is provided in the information packet. This concludes the presentation portion of this public information meeting. Our contact information is shown on this slide, as well as contact information for the NDOT Seymour District. Feel free to contact me if you have questions about any of the information discussed. The project team will remain on hand to discuss project specifics if necessary. Thank you for your time and attention.
All right, that concludes the formal presentation of tonight's public meeting. We will have an opportunity for folks that are present if you would like to ask any questions or view any of the displays that have the project information outside to do so at this time. For those that are joining online, again, we will have this presentation as well as the recorded meeting tonight available on our webpage. So anybody that wasn't here tonight, if you know of anybody or anybody that was joining us virtually, can access that at any point on the website. I believe after tomorrow that will be posted. Again, if you would like to provide a written comment, you can do that by filling out the comment form that was in the packet tonight. You can fill out a comment on the comment box virtually that for those that joined the live stream, or access that online on the Seymour webpage. We just ask that all comments be submitted again no later than July 29th. And with that, thank you everybody for taking time out of your busy afternoons to join us this evening. We will have our project team located out there with our displays, and you're welcome to ask any questions at that time. Thank you.